Hi, Susan here. I'm playing Pathfinder Adventure card game. I'm on scenario 2C, Spirited Away. And my characters are Sela, Valeros, and Lem. And they have since the last scenario, where it was a piece of the auction, got quite lucky there and got a lot of the winnings pile. Anyway, and a loot spell card added to their hands. So they got to divide out the winnings, and that has boosted each of my characters quite a bit. So now they've got a better hand. I've increased obviously their weapons because I've got a few different loot items, armor, allies, blessings. So she's not quite at her max of all the cards she could have, but she's getting there. Definitely a huge boost. And Valeros is almost at his max. He just needs, he has 4 armor. The last thing he can up is his armor to 5. Along with other abilities that can be upped as well, of course. I'm just talking about the hand, how many cards that he can have in his hand. And same with Lem. He is almost at his max of card hand. So he has 5 allies, 4 blessings. He can go to 6 and 5 instead, but so he's almost at his max of cards in his hand. So that definitely should boost their abilities to get through this next round. So now I'm going to read through scenario 2C, Spirited Away. The Bellum Town Council again has permitted your presence in its deliberations. Since you have provided aid to the town over the last month, your voices are welcome in between pronouncements of the dueling clerics of Abadar and Shellin. Today, the subject has again turned to monsters. Where are these griots of which you speak? The Lady Origena Devi struggles with yet another unexplained disturbance to her town's serenity. You had never heard of these bat-like creatures before either, but fortunately you are not the only ones present. I have found some information that may serve, my lady, says Eupaphenia Targus, the cleric who tends the temple of Abadar. In preparation for the auction, the clerks prevailed upon me to examine the wizard's books. Some I could not understand, but the bestiary was in a script I could quickly decipher. Therein I found all manner of known malefactors, the blood bug, the basilisk, the lurking ray, several I had not yet known of, among them these griots. Here's what I know. They are not from around here. In fact, they are not of this world. They are from planets cast away from their stars. The worst of wizards summon them to Golarion through a magical tapestry called the Dark Window. There is no good in them, she continues. They come to pillage the land and kidnap the helpless. They are experts in crafting cells in which to imprison their victims. The griots must be either slain or forced back through the window from whence they came. The council devolves into whispers and hubbub, as all present consider the gravity of the situation. Begging your leave, ma'am, says Jacoba Kirvis, the town barrister, I have a list of the missing. It is not a short list. As has become typical of late, all eyes in the room turn toward you. There is a crisis, and you will again prove to be the solution to it. For a bucolic countryside town, Bellum sure isn't boring. Okay, so the scene has been set. We've got Gryoth as the danger, which is here. That's one of the Gryoth. And the villain is the villain is Gryoth, and there's a villain proxy that's been added. Plus the henchman, the closing henchman is rescues, proxy A. So it does say henchman closing. So I guess if a henchman comes up, the characters defeat it, then they can right away close the location. So I've done the villain proxy for the Gryoth as A1, and the rest of the henchmen for the rest of the locations for the henchmen rescues as proxy Bs, just to decipher. So it says, when preparing the story banes, after making the story bane stack, shuffle the villain proxy into the cell. Ooh, the villain proxy. Ooh, I think I shuffled them all together and then put them into... Oh yeah, I did. Okay, well, let's see what happens here. So during this scenario, it says you may move only when your location is closed, and you may move only to the next location on the scenario list. After the last location you're using is closed, move to the cell. Okay, so I'll have to stop, readjust the cards again to make sure that the actual villain card, the proxy A1, is actually in the cell. That's where it's supposed to be. And it continues on here. Before you encounter the rescue, summon and encounter the danger. If it is not defeated, the rescue is evaded. When you would draw a new ally for defeating the rescue, instead draw the rescue proxy. If a rescue proxy would go anywhere other than a character's hand, shuffle it into your location. When you encounter the villain, before acting, bury 1d4 cards. After acting, if each character cannot reveal a rescue proxy, the villain is undefeated.